What is up, YouTube? It's your boy. We're going to talk about a really important issue, a really big issue that's going on right now. We're going to talk about celebrity worship. Because I see all these people on social media worshiping celebrities, worshiping politicians, and that stuff's got to stop. So let's talk about celebrity worship. And let's start with politicians, actually. So there's a politician, you might have heard of him. His name's Bernie Sanders. He's a senator from Vermont. A lot of people worship him. And here's why that needs to stop immediately. Okay? Bernie Sanders is a Zionist. In 1963, he spent several months on ethnically cleansed Palestinian land in a Zionist settlement. He is funded by J Street. He received in the 2018 election cycle, he received $5,000 from J Street. And I know some of you may be like, oh, only $5,000? Well, guess what? My monthly budget that I can spend is $2,000. Think about that. The money he got more money from J Street than I have in my monthly budget. And that's my monthly $2,000 is my monthly budget, including rent. So let's put that shit in perspective. He took $5,000 from a virulent anti-Arab racist organization whose main goal is to ethnically cleanse the area from the Nile River to the Euphrates River. Think about that shit, man. That's one of his main donors. That's one of his top 100 donors. He also opposes BDS. He also opposes the right of return. He also opposes the liberation of Palestine. He also opposes Hamas, which is the largest resistance group in Palestine. So Bernie's bad on Palestine. He's also bad on Venezuela. He supports sanctions. He opposes Maduro. And he supports Juan Guaido, who is the genocidal colonizer-descended maniac who the U.S. wants to put in power. And if we go back to the Mediterranean region and the Gulf of Aqaba region, Bernie supports the Sisi regime, which in the Sinai Peninsula is ethnically cleansing Bedouin communities and bringing in Sudanese and Egyptian workers to build fancy tourist resorts. So Sisi is ethnically cleansing my people. Oh, also not to mention, Sisi was the hand-picked dictator of Egypt. He was picked by the CIA, the Mossad, and MI6. Why? Well, because he was educated at the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So yeah, Bernie is a virulent anti-Arab racist. He's a Zionist. He is anti-black, especially when it comes to black Venezuelans. And he supports the ethnic cleansing of Bedouin communities on the Sinai Peninsula. Also, Bernie supports what's it called? He supports the Saudis arming Daesh in Syria. And he also supports the Emiratis using child soldiers from Sudan in southern Yemen to fight their dirty war and torture Yemenis. That's another thing Bernie Sanders supports. So Bernie Sanders, again, he's a genocidal maniac. And that's why the cult worship of him needs to stop immediately. Now here are the other two politicians that I have an issue with, and these other two have a huge cult following. One of them is Alexandria Ocasio. Yeah, she's young. Yeah, she's a newly elected congressperson, but she's also a genocidal maniac. So, she supports. So she's anti-BDS. She opposes the right to return for Palestinians. She opposes Hamas. I'm pretty sure she might be getting money from the Zionist lobby now. I have to check again to see if she is. What else? Oh, yeah. She supports the U.S. Regime change in Venezuela. She supports Daesh in Syria. She supports the child soldiers in Yemen. She supports the drone strikes in Somalia. And, she voted to fund ICE, even though that was voting to defund ICE, to eliminate ICE, was literally part of her campaign platform. So that's why the celebrity worship of her needs to stop. And the third person whose celebrity worship I have an issue with is Rashida Tlaib. Now, a lot of y'all may ask, why are you going after Rashida Tlaib? She eventually came around to supporting BDS, after a lot of pressure from myself, Ali Abu Nima, Tamara Nasser, and Nabil Zazayan, and other people like that. We had to pressure her. Well, here's why the celebrity worship of Rashida Tlaib needs to stop immediately. She was funded, and probably still is, funded by J Street. She is against the right to return, for the most part. She only supported BDS because it was the politically convenient thing to do. And the only reasons why she dropped the J Street endorsement was because she was getting pressure from activists, including Ali Abu Nima, Asad Abu Khalil, myself, my buddy Nabil. Who else was giving her pressure? Tamara Nasser, Rania Khalek. A lot of people, bro. A lot of people were giving her pressure. That's why the celebrity... And now that she's in Congress, she hasn't defended... she did not defend Ilhan Omar after Ilhan Omar started exposing the Zionist lobby. I don't think she's finished exposing the Zionist lobby. But after Ilhan Omar exposed and called out the Zionist lobby, because, they control the entire U.S. government, Rashida Tlaib was not defending Ilhan Omar, So, and what's the deal? Palestinians, Somalis were supposed to be allies, Like, how you going to do that, Oh, and, that's a sister in Islam, So that's a fellow Muslima, Like, why wouldn't you defend her? Oh, identity politics only matter when they're convenient, huh? Also, Rashida Tlaib was seen posing for a photo with Linda Tartura, also known as Linda Sarsour, who is a house Arab tap dance and house Arab, um, and is sold out to the Zionist lobby, just like Jim Zogby and Hussein Ibish, you know. But yeah, so she was, both her and Alexandria Ocasio were seen posing with a picture with Linda Tertura, um, as we call her on the Ikhras magazine. I'm not affiliated with Ikhras, but I do read them very frequently, and I try to check their Twitter feed. But yeah, so that's pretty much why you have to why those that worship Rashida Tlaib need to end their celebrity worship for her immediately. Okay? Now, who else is a problematic celebrity whose celebrity cult worship needs to be ended? Oh, I know one. Cardi B. Okay, Cardi B danced at the Super Bowl with Patriots owner, human trafficker, and Zionist pig, Robert Kraft, who also organizes propaganda trips to ethnically cleansed Palestinian land. And she's one of many rappers to dance with Robert Kraft or tap dance for him. Again, like Alexandria Ocasio, tap dancing. She literally tap dances for white people. Not surprised. One of the many rappers to tap dance for Robert Kraft, who's a virulent racist. And other rappers include Jay-Z, also friends with Obama, who's a war criminal, Meek Mill, and Rick Ross. So it's time to end the celebrity worship of Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Cardi B, and Jay-Z. Oh, but that's not the only thing Cardi B did. And it's not the only reason why we should end the celebrity worship of her. The first reason and most important reason is her racist video for Bodak Yellow. Now, as you know, I'm a rapper. I'm also of Arab heritage on my grandma's side. My maternal grandmother is Arab, predominantly ethnically Bedouin. So this kind of hit really close to home. And this hurt. This is the video for Bodak Yellow. Picture this. Cardi B wearing a green hijab, a green abaya, sitting atop a camel in the desert outside Abu Dhabi or Dubai. Not sure which. And then the next scene you see in the background, a sheikh wearing a dish dash and a shora, cheetahs, shisha, basically stereotypical images. And, you know, Orientalism is a big problem in hip-hop, and Cardi B is part of the problem, and that's why you should end your celebrity worship for Cardi B. Another celebrity you should end your celebrity worship for is Beyonce. If you want to talk about Orientalism, Beyonce in her song Naughty Girl, in the video for her song Naughty Girl, she appropriated the music of Kulthum, who is one of the most influential singers in all of Egypt. And then the belly dancing choreography, it was a very sexualized act and a very exoticizing act. And as an Arab, I felt it was really like haram. As an Arab who was also a Muslim, who was also part ethnic Egyptian and ethnic Bedouin from Palestine and Egypt, I felt that action was very, very haram and just disrespectful to my culture and to the music of the country where my great-grandpa comes from. So, yeah, that's one reason to end the cult worship of Beyonce. Another reason to end the cult worship of Beyonce is that she supported Beto O'Rourke, who is another virulent anti-Arab racist, and receives money from AIPAC and J Street, by the way. So she was seen wearing a Beto for Texas hat. So was LeBron James, who's also friends with war criminal Barack Obama. So yeah. So both Beyonce and LeBron James are canceled, and it's time to end the cult worship for Beyonce and for LeBron James. Other examples: Tyga, his song Hookah, also very disrespectful towards Arabs, towards South Asians, towards Somalis, towards Afar people, towards Oromo people, Tigrinya people, towards Africans and Asians in general. Very disrespectful. What else? Busta Rhymes, his song Arab Money, very disrespectful. So the cult worship for those artists, for Tyga and Busta Rhymes, should be ended immediately, you know? The cult worship for basketball, certain basketball players, like Draymond Green, who went on a IDF-sponsored trip to ethnically cleansed Palestinian land. And that should be ended immediately, right? Because he's a war criminal. He went on a trip sponsored by war criminals to ethnically cleansed land, and he was used as a prop. So all support for him and all his cult is canceled. You know, the cult of Draymond is canceled. Steph Curry, who met with war criminal Barack Obama. Kevin Durant also met with a war criminal named Barack Obama. Barack Obama murdered innocent people, helped Netanyahu murder innocent people in Gaza. He murdered innocent people in Syria, Somalia, and Yemen, as well as Libya and Egypt. Oh, and he overthrew democratically elected governments in Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya. So, you know, the cult worship of LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant must end immediately, and those people are canceled, you know? I mean, this process, digging through people's records and who they met with and stuff like that, that takes a long time. And looking at media reports and stuff takes a long time. But it's a necessary task. Because we need to stop the cults that support these genocidal maniacs. Okay? We need to stop these cults that support these virulent racists. You know, and blind cult worship is something I see a lot of on social media. People are praising politicians, athletes, musicians for no good reason, other than the fact that those people are famous. It's like, dude, dig into their record, see, have they done any good? Have they done any bad? And like, don't judge a person whether they're famous or not. Judge them off what they have done. What do they stand for? Because I guarantee you, a lot of the celebrities you worship are terrible people. On the bright side, you can learn a lot about history. Or I should say, on another note, you can learn a lot about history, and now you know who to trust. Now you know who has your back. You know, like, I would not trust anybody that is friends with a genocidal maniac. And that's why, part of the reason why I left the Democratic Party, I got off the Democratic plantation, because I felt, as an Arab American, I was being used. And pretty much, you know, I was right. And that was a smart choice for me. But yeah, know who you're running with. Know who you're trusting. Know who's got your back. because I can guarantee most celebrities don't have your best interest in mind. And that's why the blind cult worship of celebrities must end. Now there are famous people that or well-known people in certain activist circles or certain music circles or certain sports circles that I would say, yeah, I trust them. Like I trust Locksmith. I trust Immortal Technique. I trust R.A. the Rugged Man. I trust, who else do I trust? I trust Ajamu Baraka. I trust Greg Dixon. I trust, Bruce Dixon, the guy that writes the Black Agenda Report. I trust him. I trust Ali Abu Nima. I trust Tamara Nasser. I trust Asad Abu Khalil. I trust people like that. I trust, and if we're talking, so that's if we're talking politics. Like I said, music, like I said earlier, music, I trust Locksmith, Immortal Technique, and R.A. the Rugged Man. And I trust Yusuf al-Kasrawi and Toreyeb and people like that, like I trust them as not only rappers, not only musicians, but as people. I trust T West from Afro Synergy News. Like I trust people that are not famous. You know what I'm saying? Because all the famous people sell out. Wallah, I'm telling the truth. All the famous people sell out. And that's why this cult worship of celebrities needs to end immediately. And that's pretty much all I got to say. So like, subscribe, post notifications, share. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.